And welcome back to another episode of Truth and Transparency Podcast with your host, Brother X and
Pikachu. I'm just kidding. It's the culture scientist.
I was about to say, when did I become a Pokemon trainer?
Never.
I can never catch them all because I only need one. See what I did there? I love you. Yes. But here on the Truth and Transparency Podcast, sir, you about to be in our place in like, I don't know, 7 months? Don't say shit. Exactly. Don't do the math. We ain't a math podcast over here. That's what we have someone else for. All right. But here on the Truth and Transparency Podcast, we talk openly and honestly about everything in between and why people can't get right in 2024. And without further ado, we got some church announcements. You see, we finally figured out the building fund. We had some discussion with the deacon board, and they have approved us for some modifications to the house here. So we now have booster seats for every aisle in the pulpit. Oh, not in the pulpit, in the sanctuary.
Wow.
We also have step stools for everything so you can actually get into the building.
Wow.
And without that further being said, we have made the executive decision to bring on our newest unpaid intern herself, Queen C. So listeners, just to give a little clarity, Queen C will be a permanent guest here on the podcast in future episodes. So just be on the lookout for that. Yeah, welcome her in the comments and support her and all those things in between. Queen C, you have any initial thoughts?
Nice to be permanently out of the cage. I'm no longer Rita Repulsa. I don't have to float in space for 10,000 years till the next episode. Yeah, I'm basically doing for my friends what I get paid to do at work.
Wow.
And that's why we appreciate you. So, you love him. My man looks like one of the characters from the boxing game Knockout. Mr. Smith, introduce yourself.
Really? Knockout? I mean, the way I'm feeling right now, somebody gonna catch this. Sure, you can. But
stop flexing.
In the immortal words of Brother X, I'm not flexing. I'm not alone here.
Hooray! No, I'm sorry.
Anywho, it's your favorite fed, Mr. Smith, also known as the Soundbite Poppy, also known as Mr. Leroy Dragon. And I want to thank the listeners for the comments, the plays, the subscriptions. Keep feeding us, we'll keep feeding y'all. Number 1, shout out to the Chaotic Culture Podcast for always showing us love and support. Number 2, Amber Rose. We don't want to hear you say nigga no more. Because if yo multicultural biracial ass want to go up to the RNC, all money ain't good money, my guy. All money is not good money. And you have lost your black pass for real. You already were messed up with that BET College Hill piece, but now you really messed up. So keep that over there. And then finally.
Wait, Mr. Smith. I have a question.
Yeah.
You ever go in the bathroom looking for a Q-tip and you notice like there's one on your counter that's like pre-used or already has been used?
Wow, you already are firing off, and she ain't even turned the whole black card in yet. But go proceed.
Oh yeah, no. We snapped that shit when she came at the door.
Yeah, that's true.
No, Brother X, you know how when you trying to change your Band-Aid and it's got that little line of fuzz and dirt around it?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Oh
yeah. That.
Like you ever been like cleaning your shower and the little creases in the area that you can't quite get with the little wipes and the paper towel and whatnot, and it just looks like scribbles and like hair built over?
Wow.
That might be her.
You ever drop your lollipop on the carpet and pick it back up?
Have you ever seen the and not the Angelica, what's the name of the doll from Rugrats?
Cynthia.
You ever seen Cynthia like in between what she looks like and what she's supposed to look like? Listen, you get what we're trying to imply. Mr. Smith, carry on.
Anywho, and then lastly, the Key and Peele skit.
Sorry, Coach Scientist just had an epiphany.
Sorry.
Anywho,
Is
The
it
ki-
that Amber Rose looks like a big toe?
No.
She looks like the villain from that one Courage the Cowardly Dog video episode.
She looks like Megamind.
Okay, continue.
and then finally, everybody knows the Key and Peele skit where they did Obama coming off of a media probably interview or whatever, and pretty much everybody that's white he gives a handshake to. Everybody that's black he daps up. Listeners, they were not bullshitting because Barack legitimately did that to Team USA this year. Like he legitimately dapped up every player, got to the coaching staff and was like, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Handshake. Nice to meet you. Bravo, Key and Peele. I mean, I know we do that as a culture. And I know that there was a part of me that was like, I know Barack is black and that he does that. But to see that real time, shit was hilarious. So thank you very much for that nice little joy in this roller coaster that we're going to talk about today. Back to you, brother.
Lord knows. It's whoo. Thing is, I'm tired. Let me stop.
We will make it, bro. We're gonna praise him in advance.
Yes, we're giving thanks. We're gonna pray our way through it. We're gonna do some fasting. We're gonna dance like David danced. But we're gonna get back to that.
We're gonna continue to smile. Okay?
Even though Biden ain't here, we're gonna smile. Even though it hurts me, I'm a smile. All right, we done before we get copyrighted. All right. Before we go any further, we're actually gonna go ahead and do a mental health check. Real quick, we're just gonna check in with everybody, see everybody's at with their mentals and what's going on with them. You know what? Let's go with the newest intern, Queen C. How are you doing mentally?
Child, I'm about ready to say fuck you to like half the people at my job
Oh,
on some real
well,
shit.
that's real. That's it.
Manager on some bullshit. You know, I ready to hand him the Popeye special. You know, that 2-piece with that hard ass biscuit. Yeah. Outside of that, life's okay. Obviously, I'm not that bad at what I do at my job because I've been mentoring somebody for the last few months and they just completed a program and got an internship. So, yeah.
Interesting.
But that manager can get it. And I mean that wholeheartedly.
Like 5-piece, no bev.
Like 5 Popeyes biscuits, no beverage.
Oh God.
Damn.
Oh. Like I had another question, but damn, I'm just gonna leave it there. Mr. Smith, how are you doing besides the wedding? Or how are you feeling about the wedding?
That's pretty much it. I'm just here.
Do you need some Popeyes biscuits?
There was a joke there was actually 3 jokes I could have thrown right there, and I was like, nah, I can't do that. I don't want to get too ratchet too early. No, I need a bottle of 1942,
Oh,
a bucket of ice, and a Sasquatch.
What the fuck?
Wait, Keenan, what you need the Sasquatch for? Keenan, does it have to be 1942?
Can it be
Oh, here
1958?
goes.
Thank you, Queen C, for catching on. No, outside of that, I ain't gonna lie. I'm just here day in, day out. Pretty much with what we're gonna talk about today. I've kind of dove back into my hobbies that help maintain my mental. So I've been playing classic video games again. I work out 3-4 times a week plus cardio. And it's funny because this is the last time that we talked. I told you that Teacher Bay has started her first week of personal training. She in week 3 and she kicking some ass right now. So she's starting to, get to the point where it's starting to be a little bit enjoyable. I mean, of course, majority of that is never enjoyable until afterwards, but for the most part, she now kind of understands the benefit of, okay, you really stick to the meal plan, and then come Saturday, that cheat meal she had, I ain't never seen such joy in a Black woman's heart. When that steak landed in front of her, you would have thought she just won the lottery. She literally just, like, her whole soul brightened up. She took a chew, and Queen C, culture scientist, and Brother Hex have all seen Teacher Bay when she gets that first bite of food and she closes her eyes and starts smiling. That's exactly what she's doing. And the entire time I was just looking at her like, I love you. You're just hilarious. And the whole time she did not give a damn. She just was like, I'm chewing my favorite steak right now. Life is good. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. Just looking to keep our mentals as best as we can.
Okay. Culture scientist, how are you doing?
Well, my birthday month is almost here.
We're still in July.
I know.
There's like 2 weeks left.
And this is the first birthday in a while where I actually am like super duper annoyingly excited. I'm always excited about my birthday, but this is like the first year where I'm like, oh, I want to do this and yes and this and ooh, like my 30th, kind of like that, you know. So I'm kind of feeling it. So it's also fun for me to focus on the fun things. So, you know, I've been focusing on my birthday, Brother X's birthday, our anniversary, the wedding. Yeah, those things. Those are the fun parts.
Mm-hmm.
And then it allows me to balance out me looking, you know, just better with like career stuff. So those are the fun parts. Although it seems like it's a lot and not as much fun because I focus on it a lot, it allows me, I don't actually be thinking about it. Like I'll be focused on something else and all the ideas pop into my head and then I have to like do it. So yeah, I plan out the day after my birthday, you know. This is the plan so far. I'm going to the beach on my birthday. Hopefully, that's the plan. Then dinner with my bouquet.
Hey, that's me. She's talking about me.
And then drinks on top of the rooftop at one of the places that me and him went.
Yeah. I'm gonna be there. I'm getting flued out. Yes.
I wanted a real spa day, but I can't afford a real spa day. But I'm gonna use Massage Envy.
No, Mrs. Smith. No, Mrs. Smith.
Anyways, I'm doing a spa day with Massage Envy, and I formed it. So I planned my day, and after that, I'm gonna go to this unscripted hotel and hang out at the pool, and then go see Childish Gambino.
I'll be there. I'll be there too, right?
At that part, yeah.
Okay, I can shake my head. Yes, I'll be there.
He'll be at the lounge, and then the Childish Gambino.
Yes.
And then the part where I hope all my friends can join is on Saturday. We're gonna do. I'm not gonna say the theme on this because I don't want anybody to take my theme. However, it'll be a themed brunch, and then hopefully, I'm thinking bowling. It'll just be safer to like be right there. Because nobody said came over, and then yeah, that's the plan. So I'm excited about my birthday because I'm gonna be 35. And what do these fools want?
We're just gonna move on. So I'm gonna tell you how about my mental health check.
I want to know.
You get one because you new to the staff. Queen C, what is your question?
It is not a question. It is a piece of advice as someone who has recently gotten a massage for their birthday. Make sure they don't scoop your booty.
I am a pro massage person, goer.
Wait. I'm sorry. They scoop like it was like you was at Haagen-Dazs? Like did they caress or did they cup the ass?
Like they caressed into a cup and then let it go and let it jiggle.
Interesting.
So they take it like it's like taking a ham out of the oven after it's been cooking for a while. You kind of shake it a little bit.
It was like a Jello mold, like when you take the Jello mold out. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Smith, yes.
I just want to ask one, just general question. And all these birthday plans, would there be a balcony involved at any type?
Oh, that's nasty.
Not on my birthday, unfortunately. I'm very sad about it.
I'm about to say,
and maybe not on our anniversary. Very sad about it.
We don't talk about that.
But maybe for his birthday.
It's possible. We'll see.
Maybe not an actual balcony.
We'll figure it out. That's beside the point. The question is, will you be having any adventures on a balcony somewhere, Mr. Smith?
If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, it won't be in the balcony, it'll be at a swim out suite. But yeah.
Same difference.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
that's what we will be having.
Probably. Most likely.
yeah.
I just pray that we're not next to each other because that would be kind of awkward.
It'll just be Miami all over again.
We not talking about Miami.
Or undergrad.
Oh,
Oh.
Hey, that was not me. You not talking about me. I was innocent in undergrad.
Oh shit! But all right,
Wait,
whatever.
No. That didn't happen until after I got out of college.
It don't matter. I rope it all together as one. You come as a total package.
You know what? Whatever. All right.
Mhm.
I ain't going to talk about my mental health. After these niggas talk about I am not innocent or wholesome during undergrad. My mental is in an interesting place. I think last time I talked about starting a new school year and working with new teammates. It's been interesting. I had a really cool thing happen last Friday from the time of this recording. One of my old teammates actually came by the school on Friday when I had like a break in some of my classes, and we got to kind of chop it up a little bit. And I know that I really cared about these teammates, even though I won't let them hear me actually admit it. But I have missed them, and it was good to kind of see them and kind of fellowship and kind of connect things. And it was kind of like one of those things where like one of your homies that was in a grade level above you graduates, and then they come back to see you while you're still at the school. It's good times, man. Church has been really good and have been enjoying getting back to being consistently going there. Shout out to Pastor White. At the time of this recording is actually his birthday today, so shout out to you. Although you went to Howard, we still got love for you, even though your daughter went to Hampton, but we're not talking about that right now. But nothing but love to you, sir. Yeah, oh no, man, I'm in a good place. There's some things that I'm gonna get into during our transparent moment that I'm gonna say for that, because there's some things I want to get off my chest as well. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at mentally. Now, what I do need to get off my chest is this tape that I forget the name of this podcast. I think it's Luke and Pete podcast, something to that effect. They had this very interesting conversation. Mr. Smith, play the clip.
Because I don't know any black people that have ever adopted white children.
Madonna did it.
I'm going to say it again. I don't know any black people that have adopted white children.
What's wrong with what I said?
I'm going to say it again. I don't know any black people that have adopted white children.
Yeah, Madonna did it. Oh, you what have I said wrong?
I don't know any black people that have adopted white children.
Hold on, is this a riddle? What are you...
What?
Madonna! Madonna adopted a black kid.
I don't know any black people that have adopted white children.
What am I getting wrong, you fucking idiot? Say it again.
I don't know any black people that have adopted white children.
Have I said something wrong, or are you just repeating it? What's going on?
No, you said something wrong.
I said something wrong.
Yeah. What's your answer to that?
Kylie Minogue had black kids.
No, she didn't.
Madonna then. What one is it?
Yeah, Madonna did.
She did?
Yeah, but I don't know any black people that have adopted white children.
What am I getting confused with? I don't get
Madonna's fucking white!
Yeah.
She adopted black kids. I don't know any black people that have adopted
you don't
white
know any
children.
black people?
You fucking idiot!
Shout out to Luke and Pete Talking Shit podcast.
Oh, that would have pissed me off.
Dog, like I've seen there's like this one other podcast, I forget the name of it, but they have this where it's just like, I pray to God it's scripted, because if it's not, the level of stupidity that certain people get behind the mic for a podcast and will say, "Ooh, Jesus." So listeners, if you don't know, just a little bit of context, the first person that comes on that makes the first initial statement is a black man. Now, the other person is, I'm going to say, just to be vague, Middle Eastern, I'm assuming, maybe Italian, who knows, semi-ambiguous. But the amount of like sheer like befuddlement that the black man had about the other dude's response about that statement, oh, Jesus, I ain't got the patience for it, because I would have been cussed him out.
He said, I'm not going to tell you, I'm gonna keep saying it, and I need you to hear me. Hear what I am saying. And he did not get that.
No, he felt like all of a black parent trying to teach their kid mathematics right before they go to school the next day. Because that is a y'all have any thoughts, Mr. Smith?
You took the words out of my mouth. The way that man was talking to him is, if Jimmy has 5 apples, he said it. I'm gonna say it again. If Jimmy has 4 fucking apples, but I think what made it funny, the fact that the black guy could keep his face straight. He's like, I'm gonna keep trying to tell you, I don't know any black people that adopt white children. He's like, Madonna did. I'm like, last time I checked, Madonna was white. And as soon as he let it off, and he was like, Madonna's fucking white. I was like, oh. And the guy was like, "Oh, my bad. You know what he sound like? He sound like that skit in Kanye's Late Registration. I don't know if it's Late Registration or College Dropout, where it's broke, five broke, and at the end he goes, I found new shoes. Kanye was like, step forward and explain those new shoes. I was just trying to, that's what that nigga sounded like. He was like, oh, damn. He just said it like 15 times. I don't know any black people that adopt white kids. I just like, Madonna, nigga, Madonna.
The nerve to say Kylie Minogue, like, what the fuck she gotta do with this?
And she's white too.
Exactly. Queasy, go ahead.
My favorite thing of the whole video is he confused, but he calling the man making the statement an idiot.
Bruh.
How, Sway? How? You literally ain't got the answer, Sway.
Oh, God.
And to Luke's question, I actually do know a black person who adopted a white child. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
See, I was going to ask a question, but it'd be slightly ignorant, so I'm not going to say it. We're just going to go ahead and...
black person you'll ever meet.
Really now?
Yeah. The mom is the whitest black person you'll ever meet, and the daughter is the blackest white person you'll ever meet. It's like Freaky Friday.
So you ever went to the store and you go down the cookie aisle and you have like those inside out
Oreos?
Yeah, the Oreos.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm getting?
That's basically their household.
Could you call me?
It's literally like it's their house is like a box of Captain Crunch. Oops, all berries.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Speaking of interesting stories about families, Mrs. Smith, play the next clip.
So my mom had an affair with her former kindergarten student. But that affair was not my mother's only affair.
I'm like Billy Mays, because, wait, there's more.
A few years ago, I found out that my mom was sleeping with my husband.
Mom's for the streets.
She was having an affair on my dad with my husband, and then cheating on my husband with this kid.
Holy Moses on a rocket-powered pogo stick. Y'all be telling entirely way too much on here. And I'm here for it, because I love chaos.
Just know, yes, listeners, they're of the Caucasus Mountains, the lightest shade of wheat bread that you can find. Yeah, it was white people. Lord help the children. I don't even want to do the math on how old you gotta be. You had an affair with one of your kindergarten students. So that means the child was 5 when they came to school. They had to have been at least 18 or 19 years old. But then you're cheating on somebody. Ooh, Quincy, please help me out with this math, because I am struggling like Common Core.
Okay, so when I saw this video, I put my private detective hat on it and did some deep diving. Somewhere else, she further explains her mom's affair with the kindergarten student. The kindergartner ended up being best friends with her son. So he was at the house all the time. So once he turned like 16, 17, she started making the flirty remarks. But she waited until he was legal at 18 before sleeping with him.
So she was a deep down sleeping pedophile.
So she groomed him.
So she was Drake before Drake.
Damn.
Mm. Double homicide. All right. Mr. Smith, do you have any thoughts before we go on?
I'm more so just trying to figure out how down bad you have to be to not only have an affair on your husband with your daughter's, what'd she say, daughter's husband, but then also have an affair on the daughter's husband with the kindergarten student. So you done cheated on your husband, cheated on the daughter's husband, and you mess around with this. Well, let me not say kindergarten student because that would frame that she slept with somebody who was 5, but former kindergarten students. That way we're factual on this here podcast. Yeah, I no, absolutely the fuck not. And why didn't you punch this woman in the face several times? That she not only cheated on your dad or stepdad with your husband, but then also cheated on your husband with this other. So how is she still bleeding?
Like, I can tell you right now, Tyler Perry couldn't pay to write a story like this.
And they thought black people was messed up.
Exactly.
I don't get it. I have so many questions and not enough time for them. Yeah.
This for shame. Please.
I do love the commentator saying, "Oh, mom is for the streets." No, mom invented the streets.
No.
She is the founder.
No. She is the cul-de-sac because everybody hang out there.
Oh, bravo.
Thank you. I got a couple extra shots in the gym before we come on this episode, man. I'm trying to shoot myself back into shape.
All right. There was a joke I could have thrown there, but I'm gonna move on. Go ahead.
No, we're gonna move on to Mr. Smith Sports Center. Play the copyrighted music.
All right. I only got 2 things. That's really it for this Sports Center because it's summer and niggas don't do anything during the summer like that. Well, there are sports that go in the summer. You get the point. WNBA, they had their All-Star weekend. I got to tune into a little bit of it, but was kind of busy over the course of the weekend. I think the biggest thing that came out was that the All-Stars for WNBA played against Team USA. And when I tell you that was one of the most competitive All-Star games, I was like, damn. But it makes it good for the league because 1, you see a competitive game, you want to see more of it. 2, you're also tuning up the USA team so that when they go up against these other countries, it almost looks about the epitome of Dream Team, just dominating everybody. Shout out to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, who were teammates on the All-Star and actually had a couple of good plays together. And it just kind of goes to show you that, yeah, they could talk a whole bunch of stuff and talk trash, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's in the love of the game. It's not any like malice behind it. And a lot of people take it racial and be like, oh, because Caitlin's white and Angel's black and she's gonna do it. No, it's really they're just doing it for the love of the game. Remember, Angel grew up in Baltimore. You had to talk shit while you were playing. Take it from somebody who played in the courts. You was talking, if you messed up, oh, you better make up for it because otherwise you're gonna be laughed off the court. So looking forward to what the WNBA USA team is gonna do in the Olympics. But speaking of the Olympics, USA basketball team, fuck is wrong with y'all? You guys had you guys have had 5 exhibition games. Probably 2 of them, I'll say, were clean, almost blowouts, or at least you dominated the way you should have. Those other 3 games, LeBron saved y'all ass. I'm going to call it what it is. He saved y'all's asses. You barely got out of beating Australia, South Sudan, of all places, and Germany. Now, for the record, be clear, South Sudan shot the freaking lights out. I watched that game. They couldn't miss from 3. Like, they were doing their best imitation of Steph Curry. And mind you, if it wasn't for, I think, Taylor Gabriel mistiming a putback dunk, they would have won. They should have won. They didn't. LeBron, of course, when it came down to, I think me and Teacher Babe were kind of watching the game, and it came down to, I think maybe like 30 seconds left or whatever. Team USA called a timeout. She was like, "Who do you think the ball's gonna go to?" Because that's what everyone's asking. And she was like, "I think they're gonna run a play for Steph Curry." I said, "I ain't gonna lie to you. Steph's been good in the fourth quarter, but he's been kind of cold the beginning of this game." Go ahead, Brother X.
First and foremost, I would like to explain on behalf of all Warriors fans. Welcome to life with Steve Kerr as a head coach.
Touche.
If you ever want to understand what it's like to feel the frustration of what are you doing, yeah, that's life with Steve Kerr as your coach the last couple of years, including the championship year, just so you are aware. That and the fact of 9 times out of 10, unless Steph is on a heater, Kerr's probably going to draw up a play with Steph as a decoy. So 9 times out of 10, it's not going to Steph. Unless it's genuinely that one game winner that they had against the Phoenix Suns. But I digress. Carry on, Mr. Smith.
So the final play ended up going to LeBron, which it was weird. They called the timeout, and when they called the timeout, usually you advance the ball to half court, but the U.S. had to go to full court. I have to look into the rule for that. But when I tell you LeBron walked up and I was like, the first thing I said was, they're going to ISO and this nigga's going to take it to the cup. And he should, because he can body everybody on that team. And that's exactly what the fuck they did. He legitimately walked it up, did a couple tweens, bodied that man in the paint, laid it up. Now, South Sudan had a chance to win. They got a good shot. It just happened to not work. And then Taylor Gabriel tried to do a putback, and he mistimed it. The U.S. won by 1 point. And everybody was like, dog, the fact that you guys are like 16, 40-something point, like underdogs, and they got within one, like you lost by 1 point, speaks volumes. Germany, again, what happened? LeBron had to save y'all asses. So to that, I say, Steve Kerr, I need you to take this very seriously and understand. Number one, stop starting Joel Embiid. Please stop.
That's not going to happen.
Please
Steve Kerr don't learn his lesson until something drastically makes him do that. Remember how long it took him to start Jonathan Kuminga?
Well, he need to learn quickly now. Start Anthony Davis, let Joel come off the bench with the second unit, because Joel's a liability on defense. Number two.
Oh, they can start Bam and still be fine.
True. Number two, put Ant as either the 2 or the 3 starting. You can leave Kerr in there. Stop starting Booker, because Booker's a liability as well. Put Ant in there. I seriously think the starting lineup should be Curry, Ant, KD, LeBron, AD. You have that starting 5, you are dismantling everybody. Joel Embiid is a liability, and I'm almost certain he is about to start that transition to be, and I hate to say it like this, but he's about to be Greg Oden. Because that knee, that knee, I don't see it lasting for another 5 or 6 years. Within that, I need people to understand, and I gotta also watch what I think, what I consume media wise. Everybody that says, "Oh, well, you know, LeBron, and this USA team, they're getting close. You know, they're getting, having close games. They should be blowing these teams out." Jordan would have never. Jordan would have blew everybody out. They blew everybody by 20, 30 points by this point. Let's remember something. When Jordan was in the Olympics, there was maybe 4 NBA players internationally. Maybe. LeBron in these Olympics alone, I think there's 41 NBA players, which means there's more competition. There's more physical attributes. There's more size. When Jordan was playing the Olympics, they were going against people that, okay, they play together. They have, a little bit of chemistry, but you couldn't match the athleticism in the United States, hence why they dominated everybody. Same thing in 2008, minus the Spain team in Argentina until Manu went down. Well, actually, they blew out Argentina. Then Manu went down and he came back. But, those teams are not as weak as you think. They have plenty of, people that not only have NBA experience, they have traveled, they understand how to take care of their body, they understand the speed of the game. They're playing at a very high level. So when you have that, you're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was a league MVP representing Greece. You have Victor Wembanyama, who's representing France. You have Klay Thompson, who's representing the Bahamas. You have so many NBA talent that it's not the same. So please stop comparing. Jordan was fortunate enough to be able to play in an era where there wasn't that much competition because everybody that he went internationally against, either they were in awe because, oh my God, this is Black Jesus. We're going against Black Jesus. And LeBron, he's not Black Jesus. I know that, right? Like, I'm a big LeBron fan. I'm calling it what it is. But you cannot compare the level of competition, because when Jordan was in the league, who was everybody looking up to? Magic, Kareem, maybe Will, right? And Bill Russell. Sorry, let me not disrespect Bill Russell. With LeBron in the league, everybody idolized Jordan, matched their workout regimen to Jordan, matched their workout regimen to. Oh, well, it's a different playing field. Enjoy the game for what it is, and I hope and pray that USA can pull this off and get another gold medal so that LeBron can retire and not have to worry about Olympics no more. And then by this point, everybody and their mama is going to be NBA level players, and it's going to be crazy. But outside of that, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the NFL, want to learn more, especially with training camps underway, and I believe the preseason should be starting within the next couple of weeks. Hit up my boy Red Wolf on his YouTube and his Instagram. His links will be in the description below.
Plenty of the music. All right, listeners, we're going to take some time, go ahead and hop into this Now Mind You. At this point in time, if you don't know what Now Mind You is, it's just a segment of the podcast where we talk about things that we find interesting on the internet, in the internet streets, and we say Now Mind You in the Black vernacular to share said stories with you to get your attention. There's no other way to put it. I don't know why these stories just keep popping up on our feed, but this next story comes to us via the Cocktails podcast, where they share an interesting story about a fish. Let's listen.
Have a South American lungfish surgically removed. Well, guess where he put it?
In his booty hole.
Why y'all keep putting stuff up there? So some man, we just gonna call him
Taco.
Okay, Taco. So Taco had a sexual fantasy that went wrong. A lungfish. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds like it belongs in the ocean, not your deep pink anus. Anyway, according to the reports, Taco had to seek medical help at this hospital in Brazil after the fish wriggled his way into his intestine. He recovered from the operation. The fish survived. That is a resilient fish.
They don't even need to breathe air, so you should have known he was gonna live.
And I wonder what he was eating before. Is it soupy up in there? Like, what's tea?
He was probably munching, because fish like stuff like bacteria and leftover munchy food.
Taco has taken legal action because...
Goodbye. Bye.
And if you want to hear the rest of that story, definitely tap into, I think it's one of the most recent episodes. Again, that was Cocktails podcast. Yeah. So, Queen C, I think we're going to start a new segment of things you should not put in your booty hole. You have thoughts?
I will take a World War I missile for $200, Alex.
Oh, hell no!
Survey says it's on the board. Good answer. But do you have any thoughts about said story?
I'm with the girls on the Cocktails podcast. Stop putting stuff up your anus. It is an exit. And if you want to do anal play, There are safe ways to do it. A lungfish is not one of those ways.
Oh Lord, culture scientist, how do you feel about this story?
I don't understand how that is a sexual fantasy.
That is my first question. That is also probably my second question. Thirdly, where the fuck you get this lungfish?
It said the name is a lungfish. I mean, no.
I think that's where it was trying to make its way up to.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh Lord, this shit looks terrifying. I don't know, listeners, if you're listening right now, pause the episode real quick and just Google what a lungfish is. That shit is
such a thing.
like, there's just so much wrong with this. Mr. Smith, you have any thoughts?
South Park, season 15, episode 10. Episode was called Base to Mouth, in which I'm trying to remember if it was Mr. Slave that put a gerbil in his asshole. Gerbil was named Lemmy-Winks. And Lemmy-Winks traveled from the asshole all the way to the esophagus to be belched out. That was 13 years ago that episode came out. People, why are we still putting shit up our asshole that's alive? Why are we still putting shit up our asshole that's not technically safe? You have dildos. You have
plugs.
Nope. You have plug. You definitely have butt plugs. You have vibrate. You have a lot of different stuff. Bees can get a little dangerous, as from a conversation I've had with the redheaded assassin. Bees can be dangerous.
I'm about to say that shit turned into a Beyblade real quick.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, but I'm just like culture scientist said. How is this a sexual fantasy for you? How is it that an alive lungfish can go all the way in your asshole, and then the lungfish was resilient enough to be like, as you said, I'm gonna get to the lungs. Yeah, I guess the moral of the story is, I guess he really wanted to get in them guts, huh?
God damn it, you so much.
I knew somebody was gonna say it.
So,
sidebar, real quick. This shit looked like prehistoric cat dog.
Maybe that's how they came up with cat dog. You know, I started rewatching that recently because I ran out of stuff to watch, and I was like, I'll watch this on.
We see you ain't shit.
Listeners, I think we lost Brother X for a second.
I'm gonna try to get through what I gotta say real quick. So I decided to, because curiosity, I decided to Google what the size of a lungfish typically is. So please listen to this. Lungfish can grow to be a substantial size, and depending on the species. An Australian lungfish can grow to be about 4 feet long and weigh about 22 pounds in optimal conditions. A young Australian lungfish can grow up to 2 inches per month. He's a grower, not a shower. That's beside the point. Then you have the yellow marbled Ethiopian lungfish, the largest African lungfish species, grows to 7 feet long. South American one can grow up to 4 feet, and West African one can grow up to 3.5 feet in the wild.
So moral of the story, long as shit.
Yes, they long as shit. Yes, Queen C.
What the fuck is you doing putting something that's almost 4 feet long up your ass?
Oh, that's nasty.
I would say that I'm surprised, but no, just
they wanted a mandingo, supersized.
Nigga wanted to have a date with Aquaman.
Nope. I'm moving. Scream. We are just gonna. Yep, we're gonna go right here. Yep, next.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and hop into this next story. So apparently, I believe it was on the No Jumper podcast. The rapper Designer, not to be confused with Future and other people, Designer explained that his vegan diet and medication led to his in-flight masturbation.
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
Say
What?
Say what?
Let's go a little bit deeper. So, the rapper Designer is speaking out over a year after he was arrested for masturbating on an airplane. The Panda star, which is still hilarious to think about, sat down with No Jumper podcast where he detailed what went down on that fateful April 2023 flight from Tokyo to Minneapolis. Damn, that's a long flight. According to the Designer, he doesn't recall the entire ordeal because he is fully tweaked out of his mind. He explained to Adam 22 that part of the reason for his disorientation was his vegan diet, which deprived him of essential sugars. I was kind of like out of my body. It was an OB experience. Someone help me out with that part.
Out of body experience.
Thank you. Okay. It really wasn't like who my character was, he stated, before adding that prescription medication he was taking also caused him to have a reaction. The rest of the story is on ballalert.com, but the fuck? Like, genuinely, nigga, why are we talking about this? Nigga, you would have been better off saying, I had a moment of weakness. I had to go ahead and rub one out. It was a long flight. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. But really? Your vegan diet and medication? Dog, I'm going to need you to know yourself a lot better than this. You already wilding out to begin with. Mr. Smith.
I'm more so trying to figure out between him and the Southwest dude that rubbed one off while the girl was looking at him. How horny are you niggas? Like, no bullshit. Like, no, all bullshit aside, I've been flown out before. This is pre-Teacher Bay. And yeah, was I excited to be able to do something? Sure, but not to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm on the seat, ain't nobody near me. You know what? Let me put the blanket over. I don't want this to turn into that part of the movie, The Wrong Missy, where she's rubbing him off during turbulence. I don't want, like, and then you said because of his diet and medication. So what you're saying is you had some prescribed, and listeners, I'm using air quotes. You had prescribed drugs which made you tweak out your mind, and the first thing you thought of was, let me go ahead and jack off and bust a nut in the middle of this flight. No, I'm sorry, that does not compute. Not even. Well, I can't even say not even the horniest of men would do that, because hell, we had a story a couple seasons ago of the nigga that did it. But vagina's great. It ain't that great to the point where you gotta bust one off on a flight. That's all I'm saying. Just guys, drink some water, hydrate, get yourselves together. Okay, you are an artist that has a one-hit wonder and a very questionable cipher where you pretty much did the hook multiple times, back to back to back, instead of actually spitting some good bars. You probably could have found somebody. You ain't need to do that on the plane. Just saying.
Like, sir, if you're gonna do all that, just get a PJ.
Facts.
Like, get a private flight. Get you.
You can't afford one.
Well,
I'm sorry, that was rude.
You're
Go ahead,
not wrong. He might have been able to get one. He might hit up one of his other Atlanta connects. You never know. But why would you do that? Like, sir, you are a black man on a flight. They're going to pay attention to you, especially because you're probably in first class, most likely. So they're going to know that, nigga, you making us all look bad. Like, we don't belong up there. Quincy, go ahead.
Yeah, the whole medication thing is what's getting me. Sound like this nigga popped the E and then pulled out his P.
You on the board for that one. That was good. That was good.
Like, I'm trying to, like, I'm looking at it like it's like Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, wait, is it up there? Did she bow? Wow, that's hilarious.
I don't know, but at this point, because I don't understand half the stuff he says in the Panda song, at this point, I'm almost positive one of those lines is, I jack off to Atlanta Um, I don't know what to say here. I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on these motherfucking planes.
At least it's
No,
not a lungfish on the plane.
Oh Lord. I mean, I guess the only thing you could do is you could say the Dave Chappelle part. Ski. That's what he wanted.
I'm so sad about this. Coach scientist, do you have any thoughts? No, nothing at all.
I just been, my face has been responding to each of y'all's responses, and I don't have anything to add. Yeah.
All right. Well, since we're talking about rappers, a very interesting viral clip went on television from the hit show Family Feud, which has been going on damn near like almost like 30 years, 40 years, maybe?
It's been a long ass time. I know
God,
that much.
it is a lot longer, like 40, 50 years maybe.
Long
Because
ass time.
30 years ago is like 1993?
94.
Thank you, 94. Thank you. God, shit. But Duke, let me set the stage for you. So Steve Harvey in his red carpet suit is asking two contestants to name, based on 100 people, we'll say people in quotation marks, who is the greatest rapper of all time. Listen, strap in because this is a long video, but you need to hear the whole thing. Mr. Smith, play the clip.
Top 8 answers on the board. Who is the greatest rapper of all time?
J. Cole.
J. Cole. Andre.
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. Ryan. Yes.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Okay, y'all tripping now. Okay, Kayla.
Tupac.
Tupac.
Great answer.
Pass or play? Good play.
You guys are so Gen Z.
Alwyn?
Yes.
Who is the greatest rapper of all time?
Let's go with Biggie.
Biggie.
Let's go.
Anthony, who's the greatest rapper of all time?
Jay-Z.
Number 1. Jay-Z.
Oh, damn. Whoa.
Oh, y'all tripping. Yeah. Really, come on, hey. We in Rhode Island again? Where we at? Tori, who's the greatest rapper of all time?
Nas.
Think of rappers.
What? See, I think you're thinking as a hip-hop head. I don't think that's who answered these questions. Andre, we got one strike. Who's the greatest rapper of all time?
Eminem.
He's a bad boy. Eminem.
Yes. That's good.
Kayla, who's the greatest rapper of all time?
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Good one.
Is it though?
Alwyn, who's the greatest rapper of all time?
Big Z. I don't know.
I knew it.
There's got to be a Big Z
I
somewhere.
knew he was out.
Yes.
Big Z. A lot of y'all don't know, but Big Z is Jay-Z's uncle.
Yes. Big Z.
Jay-Z's uncle. We got 2 strikes, Anthony. Come on, man. Save the day. Trainer team can steal.
I'm going to say Ice Cube. Good.
Ice Cube.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, y'all tripping.
What? Who are these?
Y'all tripping.
Wow.
Y'all tripping.
Who else is up there?
Megan, who's the greatest rapper of all time?
Drake.
Drake.
That's in my heart.
Drake.
I was gonna say, if he made the list, bullshit.
Before we flip over these last three, I want to apologize to the entire hip-hop community. Jay-Z's last. What the world? Number 7. 5. Well, that's bad boy. Number 4.
So let's quickly go through this list. So listen, if you didn't catch all that, number 1 answer was Snoop Dogg with 25 people. Tupac was second vote with 20 votes. Eminem was third with 16 votes. Dr. Dre was fourth with 9 votes. LL Cool J had 5 votes. Biggie had 5 votes. 50 Cent had 3 votes, and so did Jay-Z. So
it was just listing their first rapper they could think of.
So here's my thing. Just based on the list, if I were to infer anything, there had to be either hella people from the West Coast or somebody from Detroit. And then the last few were like from the East Coast. Because not near a Southern rapper on this list.
Yeah.
Don't make no damn sense. How do we feel about this list, guys? How do we feel? Mr. Smith.
This list is bullshit.
Thank you.
Number 1, I love Snoop Dogg. He is not the number 1 answer. He's not even in my top 10. Right? Now, I understood when they said J. Cole first, because he went with the first rapper he could think of. I wouldn't put him up there quite yet, but I understand. When they put Kendrick up there, it depends, but I wouldn't put him there yet either. When homie said Lil Wayne and Lil Wayne wasn't up there, I said, oh, this is about to be some bullshit right there. Mm-hmm. Right there, I knew it was going to be some bullshit. And then I think the one that came up was Tupac. I think it was Tupac that was first. I was like, okay, all right. Tupac's up there. Biggie's up there. Cool. Eminem. Dr. Dre, I wouldn't put the greatest rapper. Greatest producer? Yes. Greatest rapper? Yeah. LL Cool J. That's a new one. Now, don't get me wrong. I remember Mama Said Knock You Out, LL Cool J. I remember Jack the Ripper, LL Cool J. So I know his music. I still wouldn't put him in the top 8. Nope. 50 Cent. Who in the blue hell? But no, nah. As a nigga, no. And this is somebody who used to bump. I used to bump the Massacre in my 1994 Honda Accord EX driving to high school, bumping that loudly. I am not putting that man in my greatest rapper of all time conversation. Absolutely not. If there was not a Tupac, a Biggie, a Andre 3 Stacks, a Eminem, or a Jay-Z in there, I don't want to hear it. And Lil Wayne. Top 6 right there. If you're telling me, and out of that, you see what? Jay-Z, Notorious, Tupac, Eminem. And that's it. Whoever did this list needs to be fired and flamed and made as a sacrifice to make peace with our hip-hop gods.
I concur.
Queen C?
I feel like the group of people they surveyed for this question were all of Martha Stewart's family and friends.
That would make a lot of sense.
Or who is the son that had to describe who is the man?
You're talking about Tom Hanks' son?
Yeah, it's probably not Tom Hanks' son, but it's probably people like Tom Hanks.
Oh Lord.
And Tom Hanks' son, it's probably on the lines of no to this list.
I can see that.
Yeah, Chad is having a mental breakdown as we speak over this list.
His daddy is the one that probably created the list.
I can see that. I can see that happening.
But I knew the list was bullshit when they flipped over 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Above Jay-Z.
Well, they have the same amount. It's just that if they did it in alphabetical order, they put 50 first. Then
fair enough.
But my whole thing is 50 Cent may have been the best rapper of like 2 or 3 years. not an entire era, and certainly not over the span of the 50 years of hip hop.
Right.
Now, had this been the list of like pettiest hip hop stars, oh, absolutely 50 Cent goes on that list. But that's not what this is. It said greatest rapper of all time. LL, really? LL at one point was hard as hell, and then his lyrics became very, very, very questionable. Because
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck is around here calling him Big Ellie.
Nigga, these are the questions that people in hip hop need to know. Like, seriously. Honestly, I'm just disappointed because I knew it was on some bullshit. Because this, I love Family Feud. And in a way, it has been co opted as a black show because of Steve Harvey and some of the Black family answers and all that stuff. But it is still a white space. And I'm like, I am not surprised Eminem is in people's like top 5 or top 4. Like, whatever feelings you feel about Eminem, he has a very big base just because he is a white person in a black dominated space. He's like that one white kid on a whole team of African Americans on a basketball team, and he on the team because he can shoot. Yes, Quincy.
Furthermore, you asked this question, it's Celebrity Family Feud, but the two groups of people are literally pop stars in their family and entourage. You have Meghan Trainor and Tori Kelly. Why are we using the hip hop question on pop stars? You didn't want to wait for Meg's appearance to use this one? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Back to this drawing board. But first and foremost, Steve Harvey, don't ever wear that suit again.
Steve Harvey looking like the Reds. He looking like, what is a Dota?
Steve Harvey looked like almost open, like a barely open wrapper for a single Kit Kat.
Steve out here looking like the label on the bottle of Coca-Cola.
We gonna leave it there. We just gonna leave it there. We gonna stop while we're ahead. Listeners, let's go ahead and shift totally different lanes, and let's go ahead and actually hop into this week's actual topic. Before we go forward, the thoughts and opinions that are expressed during this discussion are of our own and is not meant to necessarily influence or make you or tell you who or what you should vote for or how you govern your politics. We rarely have political conversations, so we want to make sure that we handle this with the utmost care and seriousness that it is, because Project 2025, I think the fuck not, but we'll get there. So to lay the groundwork, let's do some recap of some recent events. So I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 days after we recorded our previous episode. Donald Trump was at a rally. Was it in Pennsylvania? In Pennsylvania, where he was giving a speech. I'm not going to talk about the speech because we know it's incoherent, but that's beside the point. But apparently he was shot at, and I'm going to be serious. They have at least provided enough information to make it seem like a very credible shooting, although his reaction seems deranged, but it's Donald Trump we're talking about. I don't put it out of the realm of possibility. And again, y'all can chime in if y'all feel differently. Well, basically, he was shot at where it missed him because apparently he like turned his head and it grazed his ear. And then his Secret Service team went to cover him. But I don't know about you. If there's an active shooter in an environment, you don't go higher so you are a visible target. You get low so you are harder to hit. Mr. Smith, you play Call of Duty. Is that accurate statement?
Absolutely. And I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist, but I've watched several angles of said shooting. I'm not going to say that a bullet hit his ear, I cannot confirm nor deny that. What I will say, however, though, is whatever bullet that they were trying to portray throughout the media, that it was going to be like a 30-06 I'm trying to remember the round caliber. It wasn't that. That joint looked like it was either a 22 or a piece of shard of glass, because I saw the video where you can see the hole get put in his ear, and that thing was small as hell. If that bullet was what they were portraying in the media, that half his ear would have been gone. That nigga would look like Evander Holyfield, and he would have had a concussion. Ain't no fucking way, bro. Ain't no way. And then furthermore, to your point, Brother X, if somebody is shooting at me, why in the fuck would I stand up and put a fist up like we shall overcome? This nigga ain't been neutralized yet. What are we doing? And it's not like, all right, it's not like you're Kevin Hart. No disrespect to Kevin Hart. It's not like you're Kevin Hart size where you're like under all your Secret Service. Nigga, you tower over some of the Secret Service people. If I am a sniper, I am going, oh, look, I get another shot. Wow. Before they take me out. Shit's crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, and there's obviously controversy and conspiracies around the actual shooting and information about who the actual shooter was, because I know there was like some weirdness between who the actual shooter was and who someone on social media was claiming to be the shooter before it was put out that the shooter is dead. And before anybody goes any further, yes, they confirmed in the news that it was someone who is Republican, I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, and then the person who actually got hit by the bullet was Republican or Republican leaning. Let's just put that out. That's just facts. It wasn't a Democrat thing. Like, I feel like if Democrats or someone else wanted it to happen, they wouldn't have missed.
Yep. Also, I will say those thugs with those guns, I'm telling you.
You would think if they had stronger gun laws, this couldn't have happened to such an important American figure.
Message.
Quincy, go ahead.
So I'm glad you brought up the fact that the shooter was in fact a registered Republican, which makes me think he was willing to die for his cause. Furthermore, we know if it was a true assassination attempt, like Mr. Smith said, they're not going to miss. Remember, political lines flipped after the civil rights movement, but Republicans of today were the Democrats of yesterday. And when I tell you they did not miss their target, MLK, Malcolm X.
Abraham Lincoln, shit.
They did not miss.
Yeah.
Ask John F. Kennedy.
Lord, that video still gives me chills.
Yeah.
Furthermore, I don't know how low your IQ has to be for you not to realize that you are in a cult. As soon as this man got shot through the ear, Republican National Convention comes around, and all of these idiots have bandaged their right ear in solidarity with their leader. How deep do you have to be before you realize you're in a cult? Do you have to actually drink the Kool-Aid before you realize, oh shit?
Yeah.
I have questions.
Yeah, so that proceeds to happen, and not to jump back too far, but to give context of where we are. This happens, this is running through the news cycle, and there's already been previously had discussions, whether rightfully or not, or in good taste, or the most sound time to have these discussions, but there was discussion about current President Joe Biden and his performance at the first debate between him and Trump. And because no bias in there as well, Joe Biden even said didn't do his best job during the debate. Now, still, he's still better than Trump, but that it doesn't instill a lot of confidence in people, whatever that means to whoever. So there have been rumors and almost prefabricated or pushed narratives that Joe Biden needs to step down from running for re-election or taking a nomination for re-election. And that all culminated in, well, at the time of this recording, about 2 or 3 days ago, where he put out in the news that he, due to health and other things going on, you can search his social media to see the letter. He has decided to not seek re-election, and that he then proceeded to endorse his VP, Kamala Harris. Please, I apologize if I said it wrong. I'm a little congested.
Kamala.
Thank you. Endorse her as a nomination for the Democratic Party to run for president. With how many days are we out from election? Like,
I don't know about the days. I know we're probably
4 months?
3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, three, just a little under 3.5 months.
So that's literally giving you roughly maybe 100 days, give or take?
Yeah, I'd say 100 days.
Okay. Which is unprecedented, which...
In true HBCU spirit, might I add.
Last minute, yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Which I'm complete other side note. I'm really at the point where I'm tired of hearing unprecedented times and unprecedented events happening in our lifetime. Cause nigga, we can have a top 10 video on Watch Mojo of all the unprecedented things that happened during our lifetime at this point. Yes, Queen C.
Someone on Twitter literally said we are currently living through the toughest portion of someone's AP government exam in 2053.
Oh, you right.
I feel it.
The most funniest, realest shit I've heard in a minute. Cause
I feel it.
Ain't no way all this is happening. Cause I know when they get to the COVID thing, boy, that's gonna be a weird ass discussion in class.
Facts.
But I needless to say, getting back to my point. So Kamala Harris, I apologize again. I'm on the struggle bus saying it. I will say that now.
Kamala. Think
Kamala,
of the punctuation. Kamala.
Kamala, thank you. Kamala Harris is pushed by Joe Biden and other Democratic and other political pundits to be the nomination. I will say for note, because I'm sure some people have seen this, Obama hasn't directly came out and pushed for Kamala to be the nomination, but there's people who saying that he may be waiting till it's like due process for those who may want to put their hat in the ring versus just coming right out and saying that, because, and we'll get into the discussion of it, I think it would be even more asinine than what they've currently done to not have her be the nominee at this point in time. Any other person, there's no other person that has the clout, the timing, the funding, the track record in this time frame to go up against Trump at this point. For all the stuff that Biden may not have been doing, he was a successful president for the job and what it is. He's not likable to everybody, but he did, to a degree, was in his power to do what he set out to do for a certain amount. I feel like that's a very clean way of saying things. So that's happening, and now we're kind of at the state now where there is a rallying of not only Black women, which of course Black women have to come save the day again, like they did in 2020. Yes, shout out to the Divine Nine, especially the ladies of the Divine Nine. Not just them, but just in general, just the immediate recognize, oh, this is what we're doing. Okay, let's get on this Zoom call, which I think had like 45,000 people, and have people waiting to get in on the call to find out how we're going to organize to support this Black woman, which is phenomenal. And then I think you had the next night, Organizing Black Men had another meeting that night, and they raised funds, and it has been great to see. But I want to open up the conversation after my long soliloquy of how we got here to this open conversation of like, where are we like with politics here in America, as well as how we feeling about things are going with this particular election. Mr. Smith, you can go ahead.
So I'm gonna break my stuff down to two parts. The first part I'll go first, and the second part I'll wait till everybody gives their answer. But the first part is how we got here, which is we knew, even with Trump being convicted of being a fucking felon, which is still crazy to me, that everything that we learned in government class and social studies and all that means shit compared to this nigga. And the Republicans and Queen C and Brother X will enjoy this comparison. The Republicans are playing spades, and they showed their hand. They showed that they have the deuce of diamonds and the deuce of spades, as well as the ace of spades, by showing us Project 2025 early and showing us that within those 900 pages, part of it, which is the most scariest shit of all, is we're going to take the power of checks and balances from the legislative, judicial, and executive branch, and we're going to say, yeah, fuck that. The executive branch gets all the power. Do you understand how fucking scary that is with DJT? If he was to win that, I don't know. We're still recovering from the pandemic shit that he did. Just that alone. Imagine this nigga having unlimited power. He will literally mirror Putin and Kim Jong-un. So you're going about that, right? And then you're talking about they're, as Queen C kind of stated, they're, in solidarity with him with this bandage on the right, which is fucking stupid to me. But I think the funny thing, and then I'll give up my space before my second point after everyone talks. It was kind of funny to hear that of all the places for the RNC, that the Grinder app, and for listeners who don't know what the Grinder app is, the Grinder app is a dating app for people of the LGBTQIA+. And Queen C, correct me if I'm wrong, Grinder is strictly for sex, or is it for dating?
It's 85 to 90% for sex.
So
it is for hookups.
So the Grinder app crashed in the same place that the Republican National Convention was had, which means that convention spurred a whole bunch of, and I'm using air quotes, anonymous users looking to hook up with people of the same sex. Why is that news? Because this is the same party who wants to eliminate a lot of the rights, freedoms, and legislation that tends to help those of the LGBTQIA+, and have this whole persona of, well, they are not the same. They're supposed to be a true male or a true female, or they're supposed to. You're doing that, yet you're getting banged by them. You're talking about the fact that we are a Christian country and we go by the values, but yet you're getting the lungfish up the ass.
What did he say?
Philosophically speaking. So I'm trying to understand. Do you guys not understand the amount of hypocrisy that you guys do on a daily basis? And for you to crash the Grinder app, and not to say that the Democratic National Convention might not do that, because I mean, let's be clear. A lot of people are part of the LGBTQIA+ and just don't want to say it. And more power to you. Those that came out, we rock with you. But it's just kind of funny that of all the convention people to do it, those donors that be having that money for DJT, oh, y'all getting up in the booty hole, huh? All right.
Coach of Scientist, do you have any thoughts? I know we haven't gave you a chance to chime in yet.
There's a lot.
I'm about to say, just give what your overall thoughts.
First and foremost, when it's not funny, because us as a people, I think we are just so used to things going a certain way or things happening. Not even going a certain way, but this thing's happening where we don't get as surprised as much. So like the fact that Trump was shot at, in my first, Brother X came downstairs and said, hey, I have some news. Was that for that one, or was
No,
it
that was for Biden.
Well, okay.
I think I did. I think I did tell you about the shooting.
Again, he basically was telling me about the shooting, and I was like, my first reaction was, oh, I hope that he's okay. Followed by, is it a hoax? We shouldn't have to be in that type of society.
Agreed.
And that's what we currently that's our first thought.
Mm-hmm.
As a decent human being, though, I did ask, was he okay?
Yeah.
But it, was it a hoax? Was it set up? I have all those questions too, and I love the internet for making me laugh about it. I go for the internet to make me feel better sometimes. And then in terms of
Biden,
the whole Biden thing, number one, we talked about this at work, and we all came up to the conclusion that it only makes sense that Kamala is it. And it doesn't matter how the world feels about her, because we all know that in general, she's not really a liked candidate. She wasn't liked when she became vice president because of her views on what was it, felons and things, and she's a lawyer, and she's a lot of her other
there is some baggage that comes along with her to a degree, yeah.
Correct. However, we are trying to pick the lesser of evil no matter what. In any if it was Biden or her, we still had to pick the lesser of the evil, which was not Trump. So, that's how I feel like when it comes to that part. And she basically I think she's gonna do fine. We'll all be happy. And number one, I'm gonna be excited to have a woman president. That's the most important part. And make it a Black woman president. We should still celebrate that no matter what, and try to look past her negative flaws, because all of them have negative flaws. All of them. I said this earlier and I'll say it again. Whenever I have a future child, my child asks me, they were like, I want to be president of the United States. I'm gonna be like, nah, pick a different position. I don't wish that upon. You want to be a senator? Okay, but no president. Thanks. Because So in this case, all the Greeks, be happy. I saw somebody make a post that said, thank God for all of the for AKAs that have a line of 500 all the time.
Lord Jesus.
So I mean, this is, and you know what? It's bad to say this, but let's play on her Blackness for the role. Let's play on the HBCUs more. Let's play on the Greek life more. That's where you're gonna get more of the group spirit. But no matter what, I mean, we're all just kind of, the world is, shit.
Okay. Quincy, you have thoughts?
Yeah, I got a few thoughts myself. First and foremost, kudos to the cultured scientists. You are a better human than I am, because when I heard that there was an attempt on Trump, I said, is he dead?
Hey, I'm about to say you speaking your truth, and that's fine.
That's my very first question. My mom said, somebody shot at Donald Trump. Is he dead? Then I don't care. Okay.
Mr. Smith. Oh, hold on. Not to cut you off. Go ahead, Mr. Smith, real quick.
No, I just want to make sure before she gets into it, you are not alone. Me and Teacher Bay was like, so did they hit him, and where did they hit him? And they said, oh, he just missed it, hit by the ear. Both of us said, damn. We were like, oh, okay. Sorry, Lord. We know we should be more forgiving.
It's 2 inches over. Just 2 inches over.
I'm about to say, it's one of those things.
Over.
And again, not trying to cut you off, Quincy. It's like one of those things that you and in the Black community, sometimes you with your group of friends, and something happens to your friend, and the number one rule before you ever laugh at a friend that something happened to them, you have to make sure they're okay. Then you get your 7 laughs. You can't laugh at somebody until you make sure they are okay. Because if they are not okay, oh shit, we gotta actually make sure they're okay. But if they're okay, oh yeah, every joke under the sun is getting fired off after that.
But you also said something very important in that statement, Brother X, and that was community. Because if they ain't of our community and they ain't for us, and we know for a fact they're against us and something happened, first thing we say in our community is, well, you reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was like, well, we already know what they about.
But yeah, that was my first thought. So I God ain't through with me yet. He's still working on me. Second thing was, okay, they're going to try to turn this where, oh, the liberals are trying to take him out. And bravo to those who did the work and finding out the background of the shooter to say, hey, you can't blame this on the liberals. This is a registered Republican. It's your people. What are y'all over there doing? So, you got to pick a different angle. As far as the tidbit Mr. Smith mentioned about the Grindr app crashing during the RNC in the city the RNC was held, to that I am not surprised. You have a bunch of evangelical Christians who are bullheaded in their thoughts and opinions and are basically strong arming anyone who disagrees with them. So you're going to have a lot of closeted people. Least we forget the senator in the airport with the foot tap incident, Republican, as well as several Republican senators in the past who have come out as gay and, you know, say, oh, I'm married, but it's to a man. And then, you know, you never heard about them again. Not to say anything bad happened to them. It's just the party left them behind. As far as how did we get here? I'm not surprised Biden dropped out either. I saw this coming a mile away. I wish he had done it, say, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, when the Republicans were gearing up for the presidential race. Those of you all who are very familiar with Alzheimer's and dementia, you will probably be able to tell that, unfortunately, our president is dealing with early stages of it. He is exhibiting symptoms of early dementia, the stuttering, the forgetfulness, the confusion, the random or seemingly random outbursts at times. They're all signs of early onset dementia. So, yeah, he did the right thing by dropping out of the race to look after his health, knowing he's not going to successfully make it through a second term, depending on how fast it's progressing. Even though nothing's been disclosed, this is all, you know, hearsay for now. But in doing that, you have done what every other white person over the course of the history of America has done. You have placed it all on the backs of a Black woman.
Go ahead, Coach of Sciences.
Something else we were talking about earlier and laughing about because it was very true. We said that no matter what, her running mate has to be of the Caucasoid persuasion because she is still too Black for her to just be alone. Like, or for her to get somebody else that looks like her. I just don't see that happening. You need somebody who, and then the other joke I saw was that you still need somebody who has the experience, who knows, who has contacts, who's the appropriate age, and then all these different things. And then the last thing was said, oh, look, we're back at Biden. And I was like, y'all are horrible. But yes, we can't have too much. So I wonder who our mate's going to be.
Because even 50% is too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
very
we
true.
saw what they did with Obama, and they're going to try the same tactics with Kamala.
Hell, it's definitely going to be worse, unfortunately.
Oh, it's going to be 10 times worse because not only is she going to be hit from the African American perspective, she's also going to get some of the Asian stereotypes thrown in there, being that she's part Indian. She's also going to have to deal with all of the stereotypes and sexism that comes along with being a woman, on top of, and the culture scientist knows where I'm coming from with this, that little special intersection that merely exists for those of us who are both women and Black simultaneously, because those are some very nice special stereotypes just for us. They're already calling her a Jezebel.
On your sleeve.
Say that again.
Don't forget to not wear your emotions on your sleeve, and that white men are going to tell you that you're being emotional when you're not being emotional.
But also, don't be angry. Don't get mad because now you're the angry Black woman. Oh, and look at her. She's not even married to someone of her race. She's married to a white man. She's a Jezebel. She's a harlot. And they're going to weaponize Christian language because, again, the Republican Party is basing all of their theory out of evangelical Christianity. Yeah, we're in for a hell of 100 days. This ain't no party.
I'm about to say, in a funny way, and I'm going to come to you, Mr. Smith. This is like Kamala Harris. For those who are Winter HBC, you know this. She's about to go online again. In a sense.
Yup.
And instead of it being online and then having a hell week, it's the reverse. her winning would be her probate and coming out on it on the other side. Mr. Smith, you had a thought? Yeah, Mr. Smith.
So now I'm glad that you guys went to that piece and you actually touched on a couple pieces for my second section. The reaction and where do we go from here? So to me, I kind of agree. When I'm with Queen C on this one, I saw Biden dropping a long time ago. I didn't think it was going to take this long. Because to be completely honest with you, when he got elected the first time, I said, oh, okay, he's going to be in, and at some point, he's going to transition his duties to her. Hence why he picked her to be VP. Now, it's kind of a little bit extreme circumstances, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. But he wanted to do what was best for the American people, whereas Trump wants to do what's best for Trump. And we all know this. We have seen there's proof, right? So within that, you have her coming in, and when you want to talk about somebody who was qualified, this is Obama and McCain all over again, but worse. Obama was qualified to the sense that he was a senator and was able to, go through the branches of government. Kamala Harris has been a district attorney, an attorney general, a senator, and vice president. Nigga, if you want to talk about more qualification, this nigga's overqualified, okay? And you're telling me...
What did Daddy Pope say on Scandal?
You have to be... what?
Twice.
What?
Twice as good.
Twice as good as them to get half of what they have.
Hey, real quick, I know we talk about South Park and Family Guy and Simpsons predicting the future. Shonda Rhimes, I don't know where you at right now, but I promise you, whatever bag you getting, that shit is unlimited. Because you riding a whole new season of Scandal, and I ain't even seen it coming. Broke my ankles proverbially, in a sense.
So here's where we are now. And it's kind of funny that, again, for my mental health, I've kind of limited usage of politics. So it's funny. So Queen C, actually all of y'all know my ex and how big she was in the politics. This would be like her Super Bowl right now. She's probably enjoying the shit out of this right now. And to a degree, but I'm not gonna talk bad about her. But I have to take it in doses, right? Mm-hmm. Within this, I'm thinking, okay, you have somebody who has hit almost every level of government, has seen behind the scenes, has been able to make laws and things like that work for everybody, versus a tyrant who has legitimately brought us to the brink of war several times, almost fucked us up on a pandemic. The nigga told us to drink bleach. Do we not forget about that? This man legitimately got people beat in front of a church to shoo them away so that he could have a photo op. People, I understand that these times are crazy, but I'm going to make this very clear for y'all. Do not vote just for the president. Vote for everything, just president and down, because the president is the face. The president is the spokesperson for the country. Congress, they're the ones that make the change. Supreme Court, they're the ones that make the change. And you're making this for them. I know for me, voting, I am 36. I'll be 37 by the time this election comes around. I'm not only voting for myself, but I'm also voting for me and Teacher Bay's multiple godchildren and my nieces and nephews, because part of their thing is an automatic draft between the ages of 18 and 26. My oldest nephew is 11. My oldest godchild is 15. Yes, he's 15. I'm thinking of them, right? I'm thinking of what world do we want to live in? Kind of similar to how our parents thought about when they voted in Bill Clinton before we got Bush, but we ain't gonna go there. Weird times.
At this point, I'll take Bush over Trump.
True.
Wait,
He was
hold
an
on.
idiot.
But if we take Bush, you gotta get Dick Cheney with him.
I'll take Dick Cheney too.
Damn, I ain't got an argument. Damn, you're right. Carry on. I'm sorry. Carry
Because
on.
quiet as it's kept, Dick Cheney was to Bush what Kamala's been to Biden. Dick Cheney
True.
was running the country.
You're right.
Bush was just a face.
Especially
He ran off the power of his daddy's name.
Especially when you think about the fact that after he got that shit thrown at him, oh yeah, nah.
No, he was done. No, not one shoe, both shoes. Two.
Oh, damn, that was both shoes.
But yeah, so I'm thinking of them, and I'm looking at. I know, I don't care how we feel, people, Black women, Black men. I don't care how you feel about this is Black. I don't give a fuck. This is honest, Mr. Smith. Now, fuck the show. Fuck this is honest, Mr. Smith. Now, I don't give a damn what you think about as a Black person. This is your shot, just like Obama. But more importantly, white women. I swear for God. I swear for God. If you fuck this up, if you fuck this up, oh, you better not complain about near thing ever again in life. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear Me Too movement unless you're a person of color, because you have one job. You know this is different than the first. I'll even give you 2016 because you didn't think that maybe it was. This is different. You know what this nigga's gonna do. You know exactly what he's capable of. They gave you the playbook. All of the information is out there for you to readily read and be knowledgeable about. If you decide to do what you did in 2016 here, you have earned everybody whooping your ass 30 times over. You have earned all that hell will be brought that the Republicans are going to bring. I will not feel sorry for any one of you. I don't care who it is, because you know what's going to happen if this man gets in the office. And I will leave it with this. I'm not, as Brother X said, I'm not saying Kamala's perfect. Hell, Obama wasn't perfect. We all know that. But here's the difference between Obama, Biden, Kamala, and Trump. Obama gave us hope when we needed it. Yeah, his policies weren't perfect. And hell, the nigga took out a whole bunch of people, right? And that's not something easy to do. But there was a renounced spirit that you felt like you could get something done. You could do something. Even when shit looked bleak. And you're talking about this man came in the middle of a housing crisis, financial, it was a recession. Shit was bad. You're talking about somebody who had to try to find a job in that bitch. Shit was ugly. But yet we still made it out, and we never lost hope. Trump comes into office, and nigga, within the first 2 years, I was like, oh my God, I need this nigga to get out. I can't do this no more.
2 years? I was done in the first 2 months.
And what? Shit.
And 47 of executive orders signed in the first 2 days. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
And then the last year, when we're going into election year, the pandemic happens, and he goes, oh, y'all can still go outside. Don't worry about that. Oh, well, you only need to do 2 weeks. Oh, well, we don't need to close anything. Oh, all you gotta do is drink bleach. Oh, well, don't listen to Dr. Fauci. Oh, you don't need the vaccine. Oh, we don't need to get it mandated. Nigga, like, this nigga played with y'all's lives. And the fact that Republicans are still down to be like, you know what? I'll fuck with this man. I'm gonna vote for him again. Nigga, if grabbing by the pussy wasn't a thing, this nigga got convicted of hush money. It's in the books. It's factual. You can look it up. You can read the text. You can read the court case. If you still want to vote for this man after all the shit that he has done, there is a special place in hell for you. And at this point, do not ever ask me about equality. Do not ever, because I know how you are. I know exactly what you're going to do. I know exactly who you are, and you can't tell me otherwise. This is not a normal Republican versus Democratic election. This is not Barack and Mitt Romney. I at least could deal with that, because Mitt Romney was flippy floppy, but he at least, was decent. Same with McCain. This is either you were going to do what's right for the country, or you're going to do what's right for white people, for white men. Let me be specific. White men. Yeah. Be specific.
No, be very specific. Rich, wealthy white men. Because when they said drain the swamp is not the rich people. The swamp is your po ass. Mm-hmm. Black, white, other. You are the swamp that they want to drain of your wealth, of your health, livelihood, everything.
Let me hop back in here, because there's something that I watched this morning, or at least at the time of this recording, Jamel Hill of ESPN and writer fame, and is it Yeah, I'm Bothered podcast, and multitude of things. Media personality that is phenomenal. Black woman, of course. She had a very interesting not interview, but conversation with on a TV show called The Dan Le Batard Show, which I watched this morning. I watched bits and pieces of it. And she made a couple of unique points. One, there's a very real thing within people of color, specifically African-American community, where there is evidential skepticism in this ending positively, getting the result that we believe is going to be in the best interest of not only us, but people in general. Because shown behavior determines future actions, in a sense. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can't just assume, oh, things are going to be okay. Somebody's going to do something. She made this expression, which I think is so powerful, is that she explains that there's no one coming to save us. When Donald Trump was first in office, there was at least some checks and balances to some of the dumbass shit he was trying to do, to a degree. He got away with a lot of things. Don't get it twisted. But there was at least some pushback. She used another analogy that if he gets elected, whatever comes in his brain and out his mouth, for all intents and purposes, will become legislation. Because he already has the Supreme Court, the highest thing that can determine what happens in this country. He already has him in his back pocket because he picked damn near half of who's on there right now. And then lastly, I want to say to this bigger point on where we go from here, some of the stuff we've seen, but it needs to continue, and it can't be this TikTok or this quick microwave response of, we have to save ourselves. We can't rely on the philosophy of, oh, someone else will do it. It's the same thing where you have, like, if you want change in the world, you can't just rely on other people to do it. You can't just say, oh, well, I'm not really into politics, but they can't really let that shit happen. Or that was a misnomer and it's not going to happen again. It was too crazy for that to happen. Why would it ever happen again? People wouldn't actually let that happen, but I'm not going to be the part of that person, because I don't want to do the hard stuff. The thing that I think people think is going to happen, or at least some people are going to think is going to happen, is, oh, well, it's going to be like Obama, where it became cool to just support the black person who's running for office. That ain't enough. Maybe however many years ago when Obama first ran, that was enough to get people to do that. That was our generation. But there's more access to information, but there are less people accessing it. You have to be proactive in these things. You have to actually go out and find this information. You can't just say, oh, well, someone shared this on Facebook, so that must mean that it's true. I trust this person on X, Y, and Z, so they wouldn't lie about this, or they must be informed on X, Y, and Z. Dog, I can tell you, I have friends with supremely educated people in their fields, but there's a reason why they're not in other fields. There is a person who I know is phenomenal with finances that I could go to with any financial question, but I'm not asking them to be a gourmet chef. I'm not asking them to go play in the Major League Baseball. And the whole point that I'm trying to get across for me personally is that you can't just leave it to someone else. Pick up the cross, pick up the shovel, pick up the pickaxe, or whatever you want to use the analogy for it. You need to be actively engaged. If you are not actively engaged in this process, you cannot actively engage in the complaining of the results. And I know we say all these euphemisms like, don't complain if you didn't vote or anything like that. No, let's take it a step further. If you don't do shit to make your life better, that's on you. No one is responsible for making life better for you than you. You can't blame Mr. Smith, Queen C, the culture scientist, anybody else that's been on this podcast. You are responsible for the life that you live. So when Mr. Smith says, don't just vote for president, vote for all the people down. hell, keep it simple. If nothing else, focus on your local elections because those are it's like your immediate supervisor at your job. Yes, there is a CEO of the company, but how often are you going to interact with the CEO? Not a lot. But that supervisor, that manager that you're dealing with on a consistent basis, if they're not doing their fucking job, your life gonna be hell. Sorry, Queen C. We know you know. But yeah,
Say you preach it to the choir over here.
I know, and I want to, and I say this because we oftentimes don't have these conversations on the podcast because it's very easy for us that we're very like-minded people in our conversations because we get it. And it can be mentally draining where you have to do the heavy lifting, i.e. Black women for fixing this country since forever, because you wanted them to raise your children, teach your children, breastfeed your children, cook and clean for them, wipe their ass, take care of them in your old age, provide medical care for them. Do I need to go on? I can, but I don't feel like because we've been on this podcast long enough. That's beside the point. But get the fuck out of here with this. Oh, I'm gonna leave it to somebody else. Somebody else is gonna do it. Nigga, I'm gonna say right now, a fucking superhero, the Avengers are not about to walk through this door. Queen C, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as the Avengers for our community, our Avengers are the Divine Nine and our HBCU grads and our Black grads who still come back and help and focus on the community. Please, all of my Divine Nine brothers and sisters, if you're not registered to vote and you're eligible to vote, please register. If you have people in your family who are eligible to vote and they are not registered, get them registered. I don't care if you have to carpool and pile 7 people into a Mazda 6. Okay? Get out there and vote. November 5th roll around, get out there and vote. Start doing the mail-in ballots. If you have somebody who's eligible to vote, but they don't have the physical ability to get there, get the mail-in ballots. They try to sway us away from that before with Hillary. They try to do it again this past election with Joe. Those mail-in ballots do still get counted. They just get counted last. Get out there and vote. Look, Black women, we know. We've been putting in the footwork for this for centuries. But please get out there. Start talking in your family and your circles about this, because if Trump comes to power again, I promise you that will be the last president America will ever have. He will be president, like Brother X said, in the sense that Putin is president of Russia and has been for what is it now, his 6th consecutive term, running unopposed, because the KGB will take out anybody who opposes him. Yeah, if you don't want to be like that, those other countries, you don't want to be like North Korea, y'all better make it happen. Because I don't want us to come back to this podcast mid-November and be like, niggas, we told y'all. What you doing? It's gonna be a big I told you so if Trump wins this. Like, we have about 100 days to get stuff together.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. And I'll say this real quick for those superficial, non-educated, dumbass Negroes and Negettes. If you're still hung up on, well, if Trump's elected, we'll have another stimulus check, or, well, Kamala, well, I've had bad experiences with Black women, or any superficial dumbass beyond actual policy and like legitimacy to your conversations, I'm not going to tell you to sit this one out. But just mute yourself on the call. Just mute yourself on the call, because you're going to do what you're going to do. It's better to be a fool and not say anything than to say something and it be revealed to everyone. Let those be words to guide you in these next 100 days. Mr. Smith, you have the final word.
So, number one, as Queen C stated, whether you Divine Nine, an HBCU grad, Black, white, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Indian, I don't care. Make sure you register to vote. Make sure you check your registration. Make sure you check your status. If you are a person that is going to college, make sure that you start that for the absentee ballot so that you can be counted. Okay? Number 2, for those of you that are going to say, well, you know, I'm part of the people that want to get down with the weed and stuff, and she likes to lock up people for those types of offenses. Nigga, if you actually look at her record, she locked up 45 people in her term out of 1,000, I think like 900. Not thousands, not tens of thousands, just under 2,000. And that's over a span of years. Do you understand how many people get locked up every day, B? So you can go ahead and nix that. Do your research. That's the point of this. Do your research. Please. Pretty please. Understand what is at stake. Again, as I stated earlier, the Republicans have already shown us that they have the deuce of diamond and the deuce of spade. They already showed us their plan in writing and how they want to execute it. Be knowledgeable about it. Even if you don't like Kamala, vote so that you don't have to deal with Project 2025. Because as Queen C stated, it is only there to support rich, wealthy white men. If you are a white woman, if you are a black man, if you are a black woman, Hispanic, person of color, it doesn't LGBTQ, they will try to rip everything off to where he will be the next Putin or the next Kim Jong-un and will sit there. Also, the tables have turned. It is not, oh, well, Sleepy Joe is too old to run for president, but you have a woman that's younger now. So now what's your excuse? Meanwhile, Trump, let it be known, he's only 3 years younger than Biden. So if Biden's already going through that, what makes you think Trump ain't gonna start to exhibit that already? If you actually listen to his speech, his Republican National Convention acceptance speech, which I strongly advise you don't, because you will probably, it is like watching paint dry, but you will legitimately lose brain cells on the fact that this man sometimes is incoherent himself, and you want that to run the country? Let's be clear about this. And then lastly, to my black women, I want us all to pray, and we support you guys, because we know these next 100 days, they're going to call y'all everything but a child of God. Oh, she slept her way to the top. Jezebel, she's not qualified. She's a woman. She's a black woman of color. Oh, they wear their emotions on their sleeve. How is she going to do it when she has the nuclear launch codes, whatever? To that I say, we saw Trump do that. This nigga wears his emotions on his sleeve and damn near every press conference. If he ain't like what you said, there was a time when this man was president and they had to do they had a portion of every newscast where they would fact check and say, okay, how many times did he lie? Okay, he lied 46 times. You ain't never heard that on any other presidency. Even when you know, okay, some of their stuff may not be fully factual. There might be a little embellishing. But this nigga was so bad that they had to literally have a segment that says, our fact checkers checked it. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Do you want that again? Do you want to go through that again? Because I promise you, if we have to go through that again, what I don't want to hear is maybe a year into his presidency, everybody's like, oh man, we need to fix it. We don't need to do shit. We told you what was up. Now you fucked up. And you can't say again, this ain't a video game. There ain't no reset button, my nigga. There is no let's restart from the last checkpoint. You in it. So I'd rather be in it with somebody who at least can get us to a better stage in life out of the pandemic versus someone who's going to put us back into that. Do we understand how many people went away from depression, COVID-19, and all the other mental health issues that had transpired when this man was in office? How many schools? And for us black people, this man is going to pretty much grant the same immunity he has for presidency to police officers. Do you understand how many cop-related shootings is going to increase? Because these niggas can be like, well, I mean, I fear for my life, and then you just take it as such. There's not going to be no, oh, let's do a background check. It's going to be, oh, well, he said it, so it's cool. No. No. So we joke on this podcast. We have lighthearted fun. We be truthful and transparent. But this shit is serious. So if whoever you are, if you are at the age to vote, vote and vote early. Vote mail-in ballot, vote absentee, whatever it is. My black ass will probably be there the first day of early voting because I want to be counted. Okay. But if you're going to vote the day of, brace yourself. They're going to throw everything and the kitchen sink at you. If you are in an area that is heavily black, they're going to try to push you all into one specific place. They're going to remove all of the voter machines and make only a couple of them work. They're going to make it long lines. Stay vigilant. The same exact way we did in 2020, the same exact way we did in 2008, the same exact way we did in 2012. They're already showing their hand. They do not give a shit that they are going to be racist. They are going to try to break you. And what you have to tell yourself is, am I willing to let them punk me or am I going to punk them? That is how you should vote this year.
Go ahead, Quincy.
All right. Last tidbit, because Mr. Smith said something that made me remember something. Please be sure of your districts, your state's polling times. Some states have different cutoff times, but please know if you are in line by that deadline, where I am, polls close at 7 p.m. If you are in line by 7 p.m., it's not if you vote by, if you are in line by 7 p.m., do not let them convince you that you have lost your chance to vote. You are still eligible. If you are in that line, they have to allow you to vote. Typically, what they do at polling places is they have a card and they are waiting because at 7, 8 o'clock, whenever your polling place is starting to close, at that point on the dot, whoever that last person is in line gets that card. And when that person votes, that's when the polls close. If you get there before it closes and they're trying to convince you, oh, the polls are closed, you can't vote, you stay right there. You let them know you know your rights, because we need every single vote on this one.
I think that's a good place to leave things off at. Thank you to everybody that's kind of shared the thoughts on this episode. I do want to take time during our transparent moment, not only to just please listen back to what we shared. There's a lot of good information, a lot of good thoughts and feelings and opinions about this situation that was shared. But I want to also talk about where this podcast is going and spinning things forward. I know last episode I mentioned some time about not pressing future episodes. I want to not walk back, but I want to clarify as I've had some time to reflect. And shout out to Mr. Smith for really sewing into me some reflection that I need to do with this podcast. And I wanted to say that I want to take time, just like we've had this episode, to kind of talk about a little bit more heavier topic, that the podcast is going to do a little bit of a reset. We're going to tweak some things and kind of try to work to get back to the essence of where we were as a podcast when we first started back in, was it 2020, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, you started in 2020.
Yeah. And just kind of get back into the swing of things, like having more richer and deeper level conversations. Of course, we're gonna have still stuff like the crazy stories about like Now Mind You, or just some of like these more wackier stuff that kind of like what in the world stories. But I also want to get back to having these conversations where we're really just kind of just getting back to the essence of us talking as friends about those late night conversations about our life and things that are going on. So thank God we have this opportunity with the election to have these deep level conversations, but also looking to talk about, not only for me, but for people who are on the podcast, about things about that are pertaining to our everyday life and not just things that are surface level, getting back to those deep level conversations that you have with your friends. So just be on the lookout for that. So the next episode is probably going to talk a little bit about that reset in a little bit more detail. Just be on the lookout for that. But if you have any questions, thoughts, or opinions, respectfully, of course, especially with this topic, you can always communicate with us on our social media at the TNT Pod 123 on Twitter, Truth and Transparency Pod on Instagram, Truth and Transparency Pod on TikTok. the Truth and Transparency Podcast on Facebook and the Truth and Transparency Pod on YouTube. And for Mr. Smith, for Queen C, for the Culture Scientist, for myself, for all of our fans and supporters, and anyone that is in the Black community, mostly, we are grateful. They are forever grateful. And in the immortal words of my father, eat the elephant one bite at a time. Peace.
Deuce.
So we could actually have a Black woman be the first female Black president. And she's a D9. And she went to an HBCU, even if it is Howard. Ugh.